Med school is a whole new world. There's many things I wish I knew before med school. If you're planning to go to med school, this video will save you from surprises. Some surprises because there are so many surprises in this journey as a medical student. Hey there, I'm Kendi, a medical student, and today I'll be sharing 5 things I wish I knew before med school. First, the first thing I wish I knew was it's not about memorization, it's about understanding. You see, this journey of this journey is a training to become a medical student, to become a medical doctor, rather. So, if when we all come into med school, we come with the perspective of passing exams, like we always do, and you have to understand that the understanding is necessary, and we are training to treat people, we are training to save people's life. We are not just training theory, we are training practical. So it is of necessity to understand. So a lot of people come planning to just with the intention to just memorize and pass exams. Some people are not motivated, you just want to pass and leave the school with a degree. But you need to understand that understanding the concepts, the topics are of utmost importance. In med school, whenever we write exams, you'll be surprised that it's not what's in your head that they're testing alone. They are testing your ability to use it to save yourself, your life, because your test is your life, and you have very limited time. So it's only if you have a very strong understanding of the topic that you will be able to pass well, because you won't be needing to think too much. You just need to apply quickly, okay, and as fast as possible, because you have very short time to pour a lot of stuff into your answer script. So it is of necessity to understand the concept to the best of your ability in med school. So we memorize. Memorization is very important, but understanding surpasses memorization. Okay, another thing you also notice that you won't always feel smart in med school, because you see in med school now, for example, I have a senior in my school year who was the highest jam scorer in 2015. So he was the highest. So I have my fellow colleagues in my class. We have Olympiad champions. We have Calbepedia champions. We have we have so many people with different achievements academically. We have people who have always remained the top since their secondary school, and they've just always been the top. I myself I was the top during my time. Not bragging. It's the same for everyone. We come into med school feeling as a champion. So you need to understand that in med school you not always feel smart, because you are surrounded by a group of smart people. In fact, some people are just genius. They are very, very, very smart. So you need to, so in case you see people that are doing extraordinary things, don't be surprised. It's med school. They all applied the same way you applied, and they were given the spot. So that's one thing to take note of. If you see your fellow colleagues in 100 level, most of us had first class. We all had over a 4.5 GPA. So the goal wasn't even 4.5. People were looking to have a perfect GPA in the class, and which was unnecessary. We only need a GPA for 100 level. So that's one thing about med school. Another thing to know is that the study method will have to change. Your study method will have to change. Now, I before I was more of a note-taking type of person. You note and read and then pass. That was the simple method. But now I realized that I have to be able to retain a lot of things that I've learned. I must not forget, because every single thing I'm learning, all the way from the beginning to the end, will be needed for me to pass or for me to progress. So I shouldn't be forgetting information that I learned. So I had to switch to active recall and space repetition, for example, for myself now. So I had to undergo certain changes to adapt, and I'm still adapting. There's still a lot to learn. Besides recalling your information, the large amount of information perfectly, you also need them to pass. So there are techniques to passing to putting down information in paper, because you can have a lot of information in your in you, yet be unable to pass. So everything is about adaptation, and the necessity to change reading style is of utmost importance. Another thing to take note of is that med school can be lonely at times. So it is very important to have friends. I know, a lot of med students tend to want to segregate themselves. They always want to stay on their own. So most of them are usually reading, and they are studious, they are booky people. They are always on their books all the time. So you have to learn to create time for relationships. If possible, someone that is not even in med school as you, someone that you can just chill with, and they can relieve the burden of that med school. You can just have a normal discussion with them without having to think about all the stress and work you're going through in med school. So that at times friends like that could help relieve you of the excess work you're going through, and they could just make you feel better and smile more and all of that. Even your fellow colleagues could be of support, those ones that both the senior colleagues and the classmates, those that can assist emotionally, because at times things might not always go as you want. You might not pass. Sometimes people, you might not pass as you have expected to pass after giving in your effort in studying. So it's of necessity to have friends for emotional support, academic support. Another thing to note that is that, for example, now when I was having a biochemistry test right here in med school, I I before I read overnight before the exam, and the day before the exam, it was exactly what I discussed prior to the entry of the exam outside the hall before the test. That was what I saw in my test. I'm surprised that that was one of the major reasons why I I passed the test. I was able to answer my questions very well. So it's necessary to have friends. It's necessary to collaborate. Med school is a joint effort. Another thing to also know is that you won't know everything. You won't know everything. Med school, or the study of medicine and surgery, it's a journey. It's a journey. It's a journey. There's a lot to learn. There's a lot to learn, but it's a necessity to prioritize information to pass, to be able to progress, because there's so much to learn, so much to learn. Is if you don't prioritize information, and how do we prioritize information? That's another thing entirely. But you have to know that there's a necessity to prioritize information. I do this by asking senior colleagues, what are the things I should know to pass this course. Once I know what I need to pass this course, I read it, and the things that I feel I have time for, I go ahead to read them, because if all every detail is of necessity to treat your patient, to be able to be a better doctor. Okay, so and even after med school, after being a doctor, the doctors share their experiences. You keep studying. You study before a surgery. You study even as a houseman doctor. You study at every journey. So you study surgery books. You study every day. You study. You just have to study. Even the anatomy is not enough. Even you are going to study anatomy more, even after med school. So it's a journey. You can't study it all at once, but you must ensure you pass so you can progress in your journey. So you must prioritize that you cannot know everything. Accept that. Accept that at first. Okay. So that will relieve you of unnecessary stress, and you'll be putting. It's one thing to put in effort and not see the result. So you need to put in the effort and see the result. You study smart. You study smart. So that's the basic major things. Those are the basic major things we need to have, or we need to know prior to med school. It's of utmost essence to know some of these basic things in med school. If you feel this channel was of any was helpful or supportive, please subscribe, as this is a starting. This is the first video for this channel, and we're just starting. So yeah, your likes and thumbs will be of support. Thank you. Bye.